Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. It is I, Jesse Milestone, coming to you on this Friday with both good news and bad news.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Where people were just walking around, just jizzing force all over the place. He looks like he has been drinking soy from his mother's teat. Wrap yourselves in, guys, because we are gonna get mean!
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and you are watching The Matriarchy, the show where two people who happen to be women talk about shit. And that's what it is. I'm here with my co-host, one of my favorite human beings on this entire planet, Anna, better known as that Star Wars girl. What is up? How are you, Anna?
What's up? I am chilling by the pool. Also, the how are you part. For those that don't know, Jesse, I hope I don't get you in trouble. I'll cover my toes. I might have kind of hurt myself, so I fell down the stairs. To be fair, I was holding tulip, and the last couple of steps just weren't there, and so I had to tumble. So landed on my foot.
Your video froze there for a second. I don't know if it froze everyone else, but for a second there, it was just your ankle. It was just the ankle. Perfect.
Well, it like made a few very loud popping noises, and I was in an intense pain, swelled up, couldn't walk. And Peaches went and got me ice and a compression thingy. And so I've been walking, but yeah, I don't think it's broken. I think it's just very badly sprained, or I rolled it really badly. But I'm alive. There we go.
Yeah. So we're getting you kind of in freeze frame mode. It works for me, you know, if we are getting you in a little bit of freeze frame. Your audio is coming in pretty clearly, but we're kind of getting like,
oh, dang it.
It's like when you make the
YouTube
it's right
video. When I went live.
Yeah. It's when you make like the YouTube videos and like a series of collages. I guess that live stream is even that extra juice.
Is that better?
I mean, yeah, we hear you, Crystal.
Should I just go off camera?
If you want, yeah. Okay. I mean, like I said, it's not too distracting because it's not like you're, you know, we could still hear you, but this way you'll probably get some more battery life out of it too.
That's true.
And is stuck in the 90s with the 90s cams, says Patrick. And also, hello, everybody. Unicyclopean Caesar Jorpin's here. Sorry, Alexander Cervantes, Alexander the Great. Demogeni, what's up, my dude? How are you, Demogeni? I got to get with you about, well, first of all, we're going to try to hang out with Demogeni. We're back on the East Coast. And then other things. Streaming, etc., and the like. So your nose has a growth, and your ankle is the size of an orange, and yeah, life is grand. Life is grand. If it doesn't have any, if there's not one single spot when you touch it that's like burning agony, it's probably not broken. Unfortunately, sprains can suck just as bad. So.
You know what's funny is when I turned off my camera, you started roboting.
No, am I roboting for the world or just for Anna?
I think it's probably just for me.
Probably. This is life. This is what happens to us. Be honest. Did Peaches push you down the stairs?
No, Peaches wasn't even inside the house. He was outside drinking with his brothers, and it was like me and like the kids and all like the ladies were inside. Oh. And so like, you know, one of the cousins came in. She's like, oh my God, I heard that. She's like telling the kids, like, kids, go get Peaches. Oh. And so Peaches and his brother actually had to like carry me to the couch and like get my foot up. And like, I just had a whole team of people just like worrying and taking care of me. And I was surrounded by like all these people. I'm like, gosh, it's like when you fall in a zombie apocalypse and all the zombies just descend, but they're actually trying to help me and heal me instead of turn me into a zombie.
It's like when you fall in a mosh pit and you can't even be on the ground because 1,000 people just pick you right back up. And they're like, here you go, pat, pat, and then they body slam you. I like mosh pits. They're fun. Aside from fucking up your ankle, how's your trip been so far?
It has been good. So I'm going to turn my camera on just for a minute, see if it's okay. I am hanging by a beautiful pool. Oh, I got to watch soccer today. Well, football. I got to see Portugal place. No, it wasn't Spain. It was France today. Tied. Awesome. It was a good game. Very good game. I did some painting, and I've just been relaxing in the beautiful mountains. And it's been awesome.
I'm a little jealous. You? It does look pretty beautiful. I don't have quite the same scenery, although I gotta say the sunset just off our porch last night was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
and I went shopping, and I got this.
Ooh.
So.
Ooh. I went shopping to the candy store.
Nice. I try to avoid candy stores because I will turn into you if I go into one. I will take all of the sugar. Oh my fucking God. I just saw, all right, we're gonna read a few super chats because I just saw the someone's identity today, and I'm delighted. I'm absolutely tickled. Richard Pierce, thank you for the super chat. Cecil is love, Cecil is life. Yes, he is. Cecil is stealing Peaches away as we speak. Anna doesn't know where he is at this particular moment, does she?
Cecil is on an airplane, and Peaches is at the lake with his family.
Are you sure Cecil's on an airplane? Cecil maybe was on an airplane coming to where you are to steal Peaches away from you.
I told you, I put a tracker on him. I know where he is. He's not on the side of the country.
That's important.
You know what they do with dogs? How they like chip dogs? I chip
Yeah.
Cecil, so I have a GPS on him at all times.
That's really smart, actually. That's probably going to save your life one day.
Yeah. It is.
It definitely is. Roger H., thank you for the thumbs up. Love seeing you in here. Also, everyone, don't forget to press the like button. We believe in pressing 2 things on this channel. The like button, definitely women. Also the like button, but fuck women. Hemorrhaging from the hoo-ha.
Hello, Russell Hall.
I'm just tickled that he took one of my favorite phrases this week. And actually, Russell, TMI, you deserve to know this. I am, as we speak, hemorrhaging from the hoo-ha. That's one of the reasons that I was a little late getting here today. That's why my shower took longer than I expected. Was because I went to get in the shower and I was like, oh dear God. So we are present.
It's a shark attack.
Well timed, Russell. Anna, please forgive Cecil for ruining your Florida trip. He can't help being a fuck up, and you'll have another chance to watch Star Trek with drunk.
Oh my God. No, so Cecil posted a video when we were really drunk, but he's like all up in Drunk's face. By the way, I see Drunk in the chat, so hello, Drunk BPO.
Drunk!
But no, Ethan was pointing out, he's like, Drunk is fucking pissed at you. And he's like, you know why? He's like, Anna and Drunk had a trip and you like crashed it. And so Cecil felt really bad. I was like, Cecil, you were invited from the beginning. It's like we were messaging in a group chat. It's not like you weren't invited when you were in the fucking... There's 3 people in the group chat and you're one of them.
Yeah. Like,
you know,
you're not third wheeling here, bro.
Well, it's not even that. It's like we're all friends, you know?
Exactly.
That'd be
like
weird.
This is mutual. This is mutual. It's not like, but it's not like, you know, like sometimes you 2 friends like plan a thing together and somebody like gloms on,
barges in. Yeah.
Like you're part of the dynamic. This was established on the last go around. How was the trip overall?
It was very rainy. It was like monsoon season, but Drunk was smart. He's like, nah, it rains every day for about an hour. So when we were going into the park, everyone was leaving because it was pouring rain. And he's like, just trust me. And I'm like, Drunk, it's raining pretty fucking hard. He's like, just trust me, Anna, just trust me. It stops raining right when we get to the ride, and we basically got to walk on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got to take it from the expert. I love it. What's up, Drunk? How are you doing? How are you doing? I almost went to Florida a couple back in at the end of May, right after we moved, but then we ended up going to New Jersey instead, and it was not as exciting. But you know, whatever. What is the Matriarchy riding exactly? You know, whatever the fuck we want. I just called it the Matriarchy Rides because I was feeling horsey today. I was reading a little book about being a Sagittarius, and it was reminding me of, you know, because of astrology, I was destined to love horses no matter what. So
I was not destined to love scorpions. Just saying.
The older I get, the more I fit the archetype of Sagittarius. Even more. It's scary, actually.
I feel like I've always you just read a definition of Scorpio and you're like, without even knowing that I'm one, it's like, yeah, you're that, Anna.
Oh, it's Anna. Wow, I'm reading the biography of Anna. That's amazing. It does demystify. Like that's one, because like Scorpios are all very mysterious people, and when you learn about like the why in that part, I find the astrological explanation of Scorpios to demystify them very helpfully.
Yeah, it's helpful to all. Well, here's the thing: you can learn about us, but you'll never understand us. That's the shitty part. We don't even understand ourselves.
You're like hobbits. You can learn all there is to know in a
are.
month, but after a year, they can still surprise you. Or you can think you've learned all there is to learn. No, it's true. I always say this. Female Scorpios I get along with super well. Male Scorpios drive me crazy.
You know, I feel like I never run into male Scorpios. I dated one once. It's fantastic. I don't know what happened though.
They're too indecisive though. Way too
I
indecisive.
don't know. That one that I dated pretty much knew what he wanted. I think I was the indecisive one in that.
Well, there you see. Somebody had to bring the indecisive Scorpio energy.
Yeah, that would be me.
You did it.
I'm so indecisive when it's funny when it's other things. I'm like this, and this. But when it comes to my personal life, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't know.
For me, I'm very split. I'm like, if I know what I want, I am incredibly decisive. I have no problem making decisions. I know what I want. If I don't know or I don't care, the worst is if I don't care.
Yes.
I dare you to make a decision if I don't care. That's my middle child syndrome. Yeah. Like decision making is an extreme sport when you're in a household with siblings, in a family with siblings. Mm-hmm. Decision making is extreme sport, one at which you are horribly deficient. You are born without any handicaps, with everything stacked against you when you're the middle child. And so you learn as a defense mechanism to just never make decisions. Just don't get involved in that fucking bloodbath and that goddamn Hunger Games pit, that battle royale of choosing which restaurant your family is going to dine at tonight. Just don't fucking do it unless you absolutely have to. If you're hanging out with me, everyone's like, where do you want to go to dinner? Jesse, where do you want to eat? And I don't have an opinion. I will actively, I will get angry and fight with you if you try to make me make a decision. I'll be like, no, I would rather kill you where we stand than choose Chinese or Mexican right now, even if I would slightly prefer Chinese. I would have to.
The answer to that, though, is Mexican.
Chinese.
Mexican food is far superior to Chinese food.
It depends on my mood.
But here's the thing. You can't eat spicy, so I understand you wanting Chinese food.
Yeah.
You're not a spicy food person.
But I can usually find my way around Mexican that I like. I'm just like, give me the quesadilla.
I feel like every time you and I visit, when I come up to visit you, we always go to the same Mexican place. One time we went to that bistro thing.
Yeah, marmalade. That was cute. I was so into my French dip. I still remember how into that French dip I was.
So good. So good. Also, there's 90 people watching. Please smash the like button. I might have to jump in the pool because I'm really hot.
I don't blame you. I'm going to be a little jealous if you do, but I don't blame you at all. If it weren't so hot here, if it weren't so hot here, I would just go out and sit on our daybed under the palm tree and feel less jealous. So.
Oh my gosh. So I think we should talk about topics now. Did you see the new Supergirl suit? Holy shit, Jesse.
I actually haven't. No.
Oh my God. Just go on Google and type in new Supergirl suit. It is horrendous. So they got, because the girl that's playing the new Supergirl, okay. How to describe this? She's got a tough look about her. You know how some Latina girls, there's something about them that it's like, I want that girl to be on my team if we have to fight those bitches.
Yeah.
She's really cute, but she's got that tough look to her. Not that.
No, okay, so this is, how do I find
Flashpoint. You have to type in the Flashpoint movie. Okay. And so she's really cute, and you can look at pictures of her and it's like, wow, she's really pretty. They made so that's her. She's adorable, right? Okay. Yeah. I think you're gonna have to go on. Let me. I'll send you the.
Is it this one up front here?
No, that's fan art, Jesse. It's fucking terrible. Let me find it and send it to you.
This 2 days ago, BTS.
Yes, that one. I can send it to you on Twitter.
Here's
that's easier for you.
Let's see if we can get a good.
I was gonna say just go to my Twitter page, but I've been retweeting the Portugal game all day, so you'll just get spammed with Portugal stuff.
Here we
By the way, apologizing, but not apologizing to everyone that follows me on Twitter for spamming you guys with Portugal stuff. You guys, it's okay. Okay, found it. Let me send it directly to you. There you go.
All right, cool. Send me over on the Twitter sphere.
I sent you the tweet on the Twitter.
The tweet on the Twitter. Okay.
I need to. Yeah, I think I'm
all
gonna
right.
go stand up into my.
Okay, do it.
Oh my god! Did you share? Share the screenies?
Hold on. Where's my blah?
Technical difficulties galore, everyone.
My
But so
computer- I think my
basically, what they
computer
did
is-
with
Yeah. Sorry.
I'll give a little description. So they put her in a full body suit, just like Superman. And so one of the things about this is that it's supposed to be Lois. There you go. So that's Supergirl, everyone.
Why?
Yeah. So that is fuck. It's not Kara. It's fuck. What is the other chick's name? Of course, I'm blanking when we're live on air. But so this is supposed to be the daughter of Lois Lane and Clark Kent. So what is it? Zara Kent? I don't. I'm getting her name wrong. Or not Laura. It's something. Maybe it is Laura Kent because she's named after Super's mom. But so anyways, that's what they did to her, and I'm like, oh my god. So when I did my video, I'm like, okay, I get it. You want to make something interesting looking in the mid region. Okay, why would you give her the most ridiculous looking ab shit possible?
Right?
Do what they did with 7 of 9 in Star Trek Voyager, where they had her wear that like she's in the full body, the bodysuit, right? The cat suit, but she has that kind of corset that gives it like that accentuates her waist. And yes, I know it was extremely uncomfortable for Jerry Ryan to wear, but I mean, you could redesign it so it's comfortable. But this, I'm just like, what the fuck did they do?
Why would you
they don't
put like cartoonish, the type of abs you would expect to see on like a child's purchase for $20 at Party City superhero suit? Like,
I know.
That looks ridiculous. What? Stop trying to make women look like men and call it feminism. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Stop.
I fucked up my.
Oh
yeah. So that is that's the new Supergirl, Jesse.
It's just like fucking people. It's fucking the people who decide what fashions we're supposed to wear doing dumb shit. Like, hey, this decade we're going to sell women's bodies that look like fucking men. And we're just going to see how many dumbass bitches we get to buy into our fashion because we're the trendsetters and we determine what you want. It's like this weird social experiment to see just how far we can take it. Can we actually sell social justice and rip dabs on women to the general public? I don't know, but let's fucking try for a couple decades. We have a few $1 billion in disposable income. I don't get it. I don't get the gimmick here. I don't get the angle. I don't get the end game.
Nobody does. I don't even think they do. I'm trying to fix this, but I think I really fucked this up.
I don't know. You know what's more attractive than this? Demi Moore's tapeworm is more attractive than this. He says, hello from below. Wanted to pop my head out and say hi. I just hope I don't end up like McAfee. I'm already getting people trying to get rid of me. Hi, Demi Moore's tapeworm. It's a pleasure to have you here. Would you in any universe vacate Demi Moore for this lovely young lady in this very horrific bodysuit? He says, love the stream, lady.
I love the stream, lovely.
Thank you so much, Demi Moore tapeworm. And the Council of Sean says, I took a bailiff strap to the side of the face yesterday. Fuck, that sounds painful. That sounds supremely painful. Ow. I am so sorry to hear that. Also, thank you, by the way, Council of Sean, for continuing to send me encouragement via email, even though I don't always respond. I will be getting my Patreon back running with many fun new things very, very soon. And you're the light that keeps me going. So thank you, Council of Sean. Appreciate it. Hemorrhaging from the hoo-ha says, let's just go for this avatar today then, shall we? Moving on. Thank you, Russell. We appreciate you. It's delightful. We so appreciate. And then one more, I think, down here. Oh, hemorrhaging from nope. Oh, blue-haired land whale. I don't get the abs. Is this the Picasso version of Supergirl, or have none of the people working on the show ever seen abs? Also, she's a bit thick. So I don't know.
Honestly don't think she's thick. I think that they have fake muscles in that suit.
I think that's all the suit. I think it's all suit padding because it doesn't line up with like where her chest is. Like the lines don't line up right, you know?
Well, she's flying. Like you can clearly see the ropes, and if you look in other pictures, they have her rappelling. And so it's pulling on her in a weird way. But I looked at pictures. I'm like, she's tiny. She's like my size. So the fact that they're going out of their way. They cut all of her hair off. They put her in that shit. I'm like, oh my God. Like, poor girl. I mean, you would think your dream of your entire life of being a famous actress, and it's like, oh my gosh, you're going to get to play Supergirl. That's like a very coveted role. And then that's what it was like. I have to look like this. I'm like, oh my God. That's why I felt so bad for Kelly Marie Tran. I'm like, she's wanted to be an actress her whole life. She gets cast in Star Wars, and they put her in a fucking potato sack. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I'm trying to look and see, like, that's not just padding from the harness, I'm assuming. Jesus. Hold on.
Fire alarms are fun. Well, guys. So yeah, I did a video on it and it did really well. So thank you, everyone. It hit the algorithm right. So I'm like, I have a feeling that this new Supergirl stuff is going to be a very hot topic on the YouTubes.
Stay tuned for more. So speaking of other women they're ruining, or not necessarily ruining per se, but altering. We'll leave it up to you guys to decide if they're ruining. Hey, Anna, what's like a really important characteristic of Snow White? What's like when you think of Snow White? What do you think of? What do you picture? When you picture
hair as black as ebony, skin as white as snow. I don't know, maybe stuff like that.
Yeah, like that's sort of like the core things for her character. Okay, so would you argue that Snow White falls into the category of
hi, little girl?
So we've discussed this before too, right? We've discussed how like race swapping, when you race swap characters around, you know, there are characters where like the race isn't. Oh, Tulip, hello, how's the baby? How are you, cootie? Oh,
she's hot. But see, Tulip is more qualified to play Snow White. I'm just saying.
So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. We've discussed this, right? There's some, like, if you're making a TV show and you're casting a bouncer or a store clerk or a receptionist or something, is the race important to that character? No. If you're casting a character who's just like an every person lead and it's modern whatever and race has no part of the themes of the story, is it important what race the character is who plays that? Is no. If the character has an existing canon and a lot of visual references and descriptions and their appearance and or race is a very important part of who their character is, would you say at that point then that then we all agree that you probably shouldn't race swap that character? So would you say that
just a little bit?
Would you say that Snow White's race is an intrinsic part of her character?
It's just a little bit. It's kind of in the name of the character. Just I was a little bit optimistic about it because I was like, I watched Brandy Cinderella when I was a kid, with Brandy Whitney Houston. That was a complete colorblind casting. None of it made sense. The thing with this girl, though, I'm like, okay, I saw that, like, she's half, like, Polish and half Colombian. I think it's right. I think her dad is Colombian. Okay. I have met some Colombians that are paler than me, that their skin is pretty fucking white, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I don't care if you're Mexican. I don't care if you're Colombian. I don't care about any of that. But your skin shade, like when you're going to Sephora or you're going to go buy makeup, if you're not buying the lightest or the second to lightest shade, you probably shouldn't be playing Snow White. That's just me.
Exactly.
And again, you don't have to be white. You can be of some descent where your skin is just a little bit paler.
If you are Greek or Italian, you're probably not playing Snow White under any circumstance. Like you're still white,
Well, I've met some pretty pale Greek people.
Under most circumstances. But like, so yeah, it's not about, and that's the whole thing is in Hollywood, the land of fucking superficiality, where everything is about appearance, breakdowns for casting characters. Appearance is key. It is when you write that you want a pale ass bitch, you want some skinny pale bitch with black hair, jet black hair, to audition for your roles. It's because that's what you want. You're not gonna. It's not because you only want white people. You're gonna reject any white people whose skin are too dark, just like you're gonna accept any non-white people whose skin is pale enough. It's the look that you're looking for. So,
well, I'm just saying they're not gonna cast you to play Black Panther's little sister.
I'm also not gonna get cast to play like Beach Beauty number anything because I'm not tan enough. And that's fine. But so you have two choices to go with this casting. Either Snow White ain't all that snowy white anymore, and then in which case, like, why did you bother adapting a character whose like defining character is her characteristic is her milky white skin if you weren't going to go the milky white skin route, or you're going to have to go over do the whole makeup route and shit, and hear everyone bitch about how they whitewashed a beautiful brown skinned woman, and they whitewashed her and how insensitive it is. And it's like, why are you opening the door for this shit?
I would just also like to say the whole plot of Snow White, it does at the end, her hair's as black as ebony, her skin is white as snow. What is the plot of the fucking movie? She's the fairest of them all. The evil queen has vanity, and that's her cardinal sin, is that she's vain. And so she wants to kill Snow White so that way she will become the fairest of them all. They haven't been doing very good at this in the past because I'm telling you right now, Kristen Stewart is not the fairest of them all. In the nicest way possible. This girl, she's very pretty. Don't get me wrong. She's very pretty. But even where I am at right now, she's not even the prettiest girl at Walmart. Right?
So they got the pale right with Kristen Stewart, at least.
Well, yeah, but I mean, she's not the fairest of them all.
I don't think corpse-like is where they wanted to go with the pale.
Well, it's just one of those things. She's not the fairest of them all, and this is one thing that drove me crazy too in the Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson. When Gaston's saying that she's the most beautiful woman there, I'm like, every single extra is hotter than Emma Watson, like every single one. And with this, I'm just like, she's not the fairest of them all, unless it's one of those situations where every single woman that you cast in the movie has to be significantly uglier than her. She's not the fairest of them all. That drives me fucking crazy. The B-rated movies. I don't know if you ever watched it. What's his face? Sigourney Weaver is in it. She's the evil stepmother, and Sam Neill is the king in it, Snow White's father. That movie is fucking weird. It's a very strange version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But that girl was actually like, I was like, wow, she's really pretty. That I think is the best live action rendition. And that's just my memory off of it as a kid. It's a really weird movie though.
Good to know. I don't recall this one at all.
Let me see if I can find it. Maybe Chad, do you guys know what Snow White movie I'm talking about? And all of the dwarves, they're not named like Happy, Doc, Sleepy, or Dopey. They're all the days of the week. It's weird. It's like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Weird.
Ooh, dog's barking.
Hey,
I have to go for a second. The dog is barking. I need to check why.
Yeah, no worries. So I, outside of the redheaded erasure, I don't really give a shit, about like Ariel race swapping. Like, whatever, make a Black Mermaid. Who cares? You could set it in the Caribbean or anywhere you want because it's fictional. I don't really give a shit. There's plenty of other ones too where it's like, if you remade the no, that wouldn't make sense anywhere but France. So, that one doesn't work either. But like I said, if race is intrinsic to the character, don't do it. You can make a race swap Cinderella story, no problem. Cinderella stories are pretty, that touches on a very universal theme, and like every culture, actually, a lot of cultures with any kind of mythology have Cinderella stories as part of their mythologies. So, Ever After, okay, I've heard of that one. I haven't seen it. We'll consult with Anna when she comes back. Maybe that's the one. But I remember hearing about that one and never seeing it. But yeah, so I just like remake Sleeping Beauty with a black Sleeping Beauty. Who gives a shit? It's a fucking.
I'm back, kind of. What did I miss?
Oh, someone said "Is Ever After" the movie you were thinking of?
I don't. No. Ever After. I love that movie though. Ever After is a Cinderella movie. That's the one with the dude that you like. That's the villain in Mission Impossible 2.
Oh, Doug Ray Scott.
He was super hot in that movie as Prince Henry. Oh my god!
I finally saw that movie for the first time not that long ago.
It's with Drew Barrymore and she's Cinderella and Angelica Hudson.
I finally saw that one not that long ago, and I really, really enjoyed it.
I love them. No, the movie I'm talking about is a Snow White movie, not a Cinderella movie. Let me see.
Okay, we got Snow White: A Tale of Terror from 1996.
Is that it? Let's see. Let me look at it.
Maybe.
And it's like Sigourney Weaver. It's like the mirror, because she's a hideous hag, right? And so she breaks the mirror and she makes herself like look beautiful. So she puts glass in your eye, and then you see her as like the hot Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver, Sam Neill, and she looks pretty gross in the creepy version of herself in the poster.
A Tale of Terror. Yeah, it's a fucking weird Snow White movie, but I'm just like, it's a bad movie, but if you go into it knowing that it's not going to be a good movie, it's a B movie, then it's good. I don't know if that makes sense, if I'm explaining it right.
It does, and now I'm curious. Now I kind of want to check it out. It sounds like fun.
If it's on Prime, maybe I'll do a watch party. Actually, there's sex in it, so no.
I think the lack of extreme beauty almost bothers me more than the race swap. I'm like, it's stupid. It's like, why make Snow White if you don't want to make her fair and pale and all that shit? But then also that, like, stop force feeding this idea of plainness to us. It is fine. There's nothing wrong with it's like we're creating, we're going to become the Eye of the Beholder society from the Twilight Zone. We're going to become the society in which ugliness is the norm and people who are beautiful are treated like the pariahs. You know, it's like there's nothing wrong with being pretty. There's nothing wrong with being extremely pretty. And there's nothing wrong with taking the people who represent caricatures, ideals, fictional things in our society. There's nothing wrong with those people looking that way, ethereal, beautiful, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm
not saying that she's not pretty, but the thing is, it's not believable.
No, but she doesn't have, you're right. You're 100% right. She doesn't have that. There's pretty, and like you said, Emma Watson, she's very pretty, but she's
cute. Here's the thing. There's a difference between cute, pretty, beautiful, and gorgeous. Very different things, you know. Actually, let me see. I'm assuming that there's a bunch of guys in this chat, gentlemen and women. I'm not going to diss against women, but gentlemen, can you guys? I know some women find this degrading. I don't personally. What out of 1 through 10, what number would you give her? Because I think she's about a 6, maybe a 7. Right? A 7 is like when she's really dolled up and done up. But I think just normally, without really trying, and like you just look at her naturally, I think she's about a 5. Then when she does her makeup and gets all done up, she maybe can get to a 6 or a 7, right? On a scale of hotness. But I think she's cute. Or maybe pretty. Cute or pretty. She's not beautiful, she's not gorgeous. She's not like drop dead, smoking hot. You know, if Angelina Jolie was 20 years old and they cast her, I'd be like, all right, I don't have a problem with this, except they need to make her wear contacts because Snow White has dark brown eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I called it. I was like 7.
Here's
6 or 7.
Here's an interesting question from Blue Haired Lamb. Well, and I'll go back. I know there were some super chats before. I'll go back and get all this too. Would you rather she or Brie Larson be Snow White?
Okay, Brie Larson could play the evil stepmother.
Yeah, right.
Brie Larson isn't the fairest of them all either, though.
She's not. She's not. Like, the thing is, Brie Larson doesn't have the right complexion either. She doesn't have a fair complexion, really. Like she's pale-ish, but she's got kind of a ruddy complexion. Like she's a ruddy pale. She also has.
By the way, my family is on their. My family is on their way home, so if they get here and you see like 10 children run up behind me and then get in the camera, I'll probably have to go off camera and move.
Duly noted. We'll just pretend they're little people. But all right, let me catch up with a few before so I don't miss you guys. Jaden Whedon says, I thought they'd learn from the Shazam costume situation with adding fake muscles. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'm sure some of the bulk is added by the harness, but that doesn't explain the fake muscles.
I think the Shazam thing, I think that adds to the humor of that movie.
I do too. I thought that was, more of a comedic effect type of thing, but
yeah, I didn't think that, because it's not like where you have what's his name, Chris Hemsworth, where he's playing Thor and he's like really yoked, and then they put like fake muscle on top of him. It's like it's a little kid that turns into a full-grown man superhero, and he's like super muscular, and he's never going to take off the costume. So yeah, I thought that was more of a comedic thing.
Yeah.
Also, Jesse, I got in the pool and I'm already completely dry.
Wow, seriously? I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Did you get in? All right. Well, there you
I
go.
did. I'm completely dry.
Blue Landwell said, did they use different shades of red on the Supergirl costume? I think that was still. It kind of looked that way. It did not look good. The Council of Sean says, yeah, it was. I don't know if you heard, he got hit in the face. I bled. It felt like a boxer punched me in the face. Actress is cute. Bit ails the outfit, ruins her beauty a bit, but that's just me. I'm not sure what a couple of those words are. The outfit ruins. That is not a flattering outfit that she is. I don't like those little dress that make women look too cutesy. Like, aw.
What dresses?
What she's wearing. She's wearing I always think little flower girls wearing little dresses, little white dresses with cap sleeves like that. It's a whatever dress, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just on her because she's kind of a.
I bought one, and not like that, but it's like blue and it has the puff sleeves, because I was like, that is so cute. Because the way that they advertise it online, it's like, oh my God, that's so cute. And I put it on and I was going to wear it, and I'm like, I look like Wendy from Peter Pan.
Right? I always feel like when I put one on with the little puffy cap sleeves, I look like a doll or like that. Yeah,
well, to be fair, she's what's supposed to be 15, because that's from West Side Story, because that's her big claim to fame is that she's playing Maria in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
Cool. Yeah.
And so that's at the time period is right for her. And I'm just really, you're Natalie Wood, you can't do, this girl is no Natalie Wood. I am sorry. They don't make them like they used to anymore.
Natalie Wood.
If Natalie Wood had to play Snow White, she'd be coating on the makeup, or she wouldn't be leaving the house for a few months.
True story. Absolutely true story.
And Natalie Wood actually would be the fairest of them all. Just saying.
No, absolutely. They should have made a Snow White movie with Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh my God.
Right?
I know.
That would have been perfect.
Even Marilyn Monroe would have wore a black wig. No, who would have been perfect for it, Jesse? Would have been Julie Andrews.
Oh my God, yes. Oh wow, yeah. When she was really young, she would have been perfect, and the voice too. So, the nice thing here with this casting choice, it's such a fence thing, because it's at least they're casting presumably for talent, right? If they went with her for
well, see, that's what they said in the Variety article, and I was like, this should have been the headline of the article, where the director said she's got an incredible singing voice and just complimenting her on her great personality. And I was like, that's great. So that's why they picked her. Okay, so they lead with that. But then you find out. Did you see Data Racer's tweets of her?
No.
Oh. Well, Jesse, you think that it's bad already because she's not as pale as snow. Let me show you the kind of shit that she says online.
Oh, boy. While you're pulling that up, Blue-Haired Landwhale, thank you for the super chat. I give Zegler a solid 7. She's no Gates McFadden. And we all know how you feel about Gates. She doesn't have a great personality. Well, she apparently has talent. So, no, but yeah, it's that's too bad that she's already having opinions. Women shouldn't have opinions. We should be seen and not heard at all times. Speaking of, I'll be right back.
Okay, I guess I'll sit here and I'll talk to you guys.
Well,
yes,
I can hear you. I can hear you and you can hear me. I'll just need to go grab a water.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna turn off the camera for a second while I throw everything on the ground.
Gotcha. Well, hello everyone. What is this?
So what were these?
So basically, she had data eraser or data eraser, whichever one you guys want to say. He compiled a bunch of her tweets like he does when people say shitty things on the internet. And she basically sent all of her bots over to harass Gina Carano about the pronoun things. She basically is like, you're homophobic, you're racist, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I don't like that.
She's one of those people. But I did go and look into it because I was like, how old is this girl? She's 20. She's 20 years old, so take
really?
that.
Yeah, so she doesn't know anything. She's doing what her manager tells her is trendy. Oh yeah,
I got really depressed because they're like, oh yeah, she was born in 2001, so she's 20 years old, and it hit me. I'm like, I know that this year is 2021, and then I'm like, 2001 was 20 years ago. I feel fucking old.
Yeah. Dude, people who never even saw the last century can now drink legally.
That's depressing.
That's really depressing. I feel so old. This is what growing up is, I guess. It's getting old and realizing that
she wasn't even alive for the millennium. She doesn't. I mean, I'm sure she knew what Y2K was after the fact, but she didn't even. She wasn't
she's
alive for
only
that,
heard about it. She's only heard about it from stories. Cecil says adult only content. Thank you, Cecil, for listening. What's up, Cecil? He says, listening to you guys in the Charlotte airport. Are you sitting in one of those rocking chairs by the window in that long section? I love that little section. The Snow White chick is at best a 6.5 and a cancel culture monster. F her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Cecil says, and you guys say Cecil is love and Cecil is life. So there's the final word. Dr. Coffin Nails is still giving her a 7, though. So, do what you want.
Well, see, that's what I said. When she's done up, like at max, that girl is a 7. The fairest of them all should be like blowing off the fucking charts, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody tagged me and stuff where like Grace Randolph was going off on Twitter saying, oh, Snow White is like not even a good princess. She's a terrible character. And like this girl could only make it an upgrade, and saying like how she's not at Disney World and her ride sucks. And I'm like, she is always at Disneyland. She is always walking around Disneyland. She is on almost all of the merchandise. She's all of the princess sets. She was the first full-length animated feature film that Disney released, and one of the first full-length animated feature films in the world.
Yeah.
So don't even fucking tell me Snow White is a bad character.
Like, yeah, I mean, just because
love Snow White.
Just
because
you
don't like it doesn't mean other people don't.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to nitpick and say her actual arc, like she's a poor, yeah, that's not the point, though. The point is everything you just said, the legacy of the character, the history to the character, the importance that she has to Disney animation. It's not like, oh, well, she's not a great feminist hero. It's a fucking kids movie. None of these.
Are you kidding me? She fucking survived.
The prince's names are Prince Charming in these movies half the time. So, get over it. It's not, there's no like
well,
deep.
His name is Prince Florian. So.
Yes, he actually has a name, but half the time, I know there's only technically one Prince Charming, but like they don't have the princes don't have real identities, Half the time the women don't either. The princesses don't either. Nobody has an identity in these fucking movies. They're kids movies.
It's a fairy tale. If you don't like it, I mean,
cry about how fucking fairy tales that were written hundreds of years ago don't have enough deep and nuanced modern themes for today's 5-year-olds who are apparently learning about post-op transgender scars from beavers on Nickelodeon. So.
Oh, well, I saw this one thing on it was a TikTok that somebody posted on Twitter, and it was this mom. I guess she has like a little girl and a preteen boy, and she's like, so the baby was crying. She's throwing like she's crying about something, and she's like, and the preteen, he starts to comfort her and try to make her feel better and try to make her stop crying, and she's like, we have to unteach these kids because already at 5 years old, this little one that's crying, she's a white woman, and white women can't solve all of their problems by crying. And so she's talking about her children, her son, her preteen son, and her 5-year-old daughter, and how her son is trying to calm down his little sister, and she's like, no, because you need to stop like catering to white women. And I'm like, they need to call CPS on you because you should not be raising those children.
Isn't that just teaching him to be a white male chauvinist, though? Or
she's teaching her son to be an asshole. That
Yeah,
You know, it's like, what is that thing where it's like, oh, you have to believe women, you have to take care of all women, but then no, you can't take care of all women because that's misogynistic. But then if a woman's crying and you're not helping her, you're a terrible sexist man baby. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What do you want?
I'm so confused at what these things mean. No, so I was just learning a little bit. Apparently, I don't know if you've heard about this. Apparently, Nick Jr., like the version of Nickelodeon that's meant for like 3 to 5-year-olds,
little kids,
was advertising, was like doing some pride stuff in a little like advertisement with like a drag queen and literally apparently a beaver with like post-op like breast removal scars or some shit. And I was like, this is the fucking problem though. And it's why you're also like giving into the stereotype at the same time. Because the whole thing is like, they want to, it's the double talk, right? It's the double talk of like, oh, you hate gay people because you want to treat it like it's R-rated. Like, no, I want to treat surgeries to change your sexual organs like they're R-rated because they are. Here, examples, Anna, right? What rating, what viewer-friendly rating would you give this conversation? One little beaver child goes over to another little beaver child's house. And the other little beaver child has 2 moms who live together. And the first little beaver child is like, well, I have a mom and a dad. Why do you have 2 moms? And he's like, well, because my 2 moms love each other and they live together. And he's like, well, I think that's weird. And the other beaver goes, well, I think it's weird that you have a mom and a dad. What rating would you give that conversation? What like viewer-friendly rating is that conversation?
Honestly, that's like a G or a PG. That's not a bad conversation. That's
right,
normal.
Right. So if that were to show, now let's say Arthur, right? Arthur just did this a couple years ago, I think. Good old Mr. Radigan, after many, many years.
Arthur is still on?
Yeah. And after being in his class for like 3 decades, the children were understandably invited to his wedding. And one of them walked down the aisle, and they were both men, and they got married to each other, and there was no additional commentary or hubbub or foofara made about it. Just Mr. Radigan got married and to a man, and the kids were there, and they celebrated with him. End of episode. Moving on. Cool. And so again, G. That's a G rating. You know?
Yeah, that's not.
It's whatever. So there, right? See, there's no fucking problem with gay people in the media if you depict them doing G-rated things. Anna, how would you rate a conversation with a straight woman discussing her breast reduction surgery for her back problems, etc.? How would you rate? What rating would you give a conversation of a woman discussing her breast reduction surgery?
Is it a cartoon or live action?
Cartoon, but graphic, and it shows the scars.
Oh, it shows her scars? What?
Yeah, so it covers the nipples, but it shows the scars.
That's a PG-13. At least, minimum PG-13.
Minimum PG-13. And that has nothing to do with the sexual orientation of the character. So this is the ingenuous bullshit. First of all, it's the negative stereotype purportedly that, oh, everything gay is super sexualized. So you're giving into the negative stereotype by not being able to depict anything related to gay culture without over-sexualizing it. And then you're being additionally disingenuous by going, oh, you don't want this media because it's you hate gay people. Like, no, I don't want it because it's too sexual for the audience you're putting it in front of.
Yeah. Also, I'm at 5%, so if it goes black, I'll just jump over on my phone.
Tight. All right. So we're prepared. If that happens, I'll jump into super chat land because we got a few.
Okay.
But I don't understand why people don't understand the difference.
Well,
you know?
So my thing is because somebody was saying that you can't have, I think it was Blade, talking about the new remake of Blade, and they were like, you can't, the fact that it's not rated R makes me, they're like, well, it's gonna suck. And I was like, there's been movies that, they get pretty fucking intense and they're rated G. Like Peaches, he had never seen The Sound of Music, and I rewatched it when I can blank on his name, when he died. And Peaches fell asleep for the musical portion. He woke up and all of a sudden it's when the Nazi flag is there, and he's like, what the fuck, there's Nazis in this movie? I was like, yes, Peaches, it's a pretty fucking good movie. And so he only saw the second half when they like fall in love and get married and like the Nazi stuff. And I'm like, this is a really fucking intense movie, and there is no cursing. There's really no violence. I mean, I think the dad slaps the boy, but it's like that intensity because you know what these things mean and what that symbol stands for and where they want the dad to go and what's going to happen. It's really fucking intense, but that movie is rated G. So if you want to do something where it's somebody transitioning or somebody talking about their scars, this is why I've been saying it over and over again, and it's driving me crazy. The art of subtlety is lost. People don't know how to be subtle anymore. They have to have everything in your face. And I'm like, that actually makes me respect you as a storyteller. If you're able to tell this very, either intense story, very dramatic type of theme, but you're able to do it in a way that all ages, this is one thing about Disney movies, they're family movies, right? You can watch them at any age and enjoy them. A baby can watch them just as much as an adult or an elderly person can watch it and still enjoy it. And so if you're a good storyteller, you could do any story rated at any rating. You could take, I don't know, whatever this is about transgender, I guess beavers showing their scars, and you could do that at a G rating. Yeah. And just cut out the graphicness of it. And you could do it in an interesting way and actually be creative and say, oh yeah, I don't know, because I haven't seen this beaver show, but I'm a beaver and, I have these scars, or like, maybe other beaver, maybe I can't build the dam today because I'm in pain. And it's like, oh, why are you in pain? And you might subtly, I don't know, like see some, like, I don't know, maybe they're wearing little pants and maybe see some blood from them overextending themselves and their scars, their stitches ripped or something.
When you're dealing with children, it's just like, what do they need to know? 3-year-olds don't need to know about transgender surgeries. Do they need to know, maybe would it be helpful to know that transgender people exist in the world? Sure. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But it's also the kind of things too. If you're showing a show to a 3 to 5 year old, they're not going to have any trans friends. Nobody who's 3 to 5 years old is or should be trans. They're not sexually developed enough at that point in their lives. So there's no point in making the self-insert characters trans characters. But if their parents or their older brothers or these other characters are going through these adult things, this is how when you make children's shows, you present those things the way that a child would experience them. You don't try to explain to the child what a 17-year-old going through puberty or an identity crisis or a sexual awakening is dealing with, what a 20-something-year-old going through transgender surgeries, what that's like. You show it from the child's perspective. You show what it's like when your older brother is now your older sister. That's what it is. That's the 3 to 5 year old take is, oh, last year I had an older brother, Tommy. Now I have an older sister, Tessa. And these are the changes in my life that have come from my older brother becoming my older sister. How does it affect me? What do I see? You don't see the post-op scars. You don't see the time off of school or the pain or the bullying or the whatever. You see, they act differently now. Certain things make them more sensitive now. They like different things now, That's
I would even go with the scene where the little, like, let's say the little kid has the teenage brother or sister that's transitioning. And then there's a scene where the parents went to go pick up the kid from school and the kid wasn't there and they went home and the teenager is not there, and the kids you could just show the little kid playing with their toys, and then all of a sudden the brother or sister comes home, slams the door, and runs up to their room. Parents go up, talk to them. It's a big fight, and the little kid's just sitting because the little kid is observing all of this, right? And the little kid doesn't understand. And then the parents leave, go to bed. The little kid goes into their brother or sister's room. Brother or sister sitting there like on the bed crying, and all the little kid has to do is go and sit there and be like, oh, like Tessa, like I know that you're not. I was like, I heard that you were crying, like, so I brought you your favorite, like, cereal. And, like, just sit there with the brother or sister and, like, sit with them while they're eating their cereal. For us adults, that's a very intense situation because we've all been teenagers. We all know that we've been through shit. Like, I remember this is a pretty bad story, when I actually was in college and I came home, one of my, TMI, me and my boyfriend went out partying because it was New Year's. And got drunk, went to bed, and I guess I took my t-shirt off. My sister decided it would be a great fucking idea to take topless pictures of me and send it to everyone we went to school with.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and so obviously I'm upset about that, right? Because I'm like, first off, I think I was still 17, and my sister did that, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you, right? So you could do a story like that with siblings because there's I have multiple siblings. It was only one of the siblings that did that. So the other sibling that's just observing and can see that, and it was one of those moments where me and the other sibling that didn't do it didn't get along, and she was like, she felt bad for me, and we didn't talk about it. She didn't explicitly say, oh well, I know that she's in this to you. Literally, she's just like, I went to the store with mom and I brought you a Reese's because she knew I felt bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, thanks. Because I'm like, that doesn't fix the situation, but it's like it's the outsider looking into an intense situation. Nothing was said about what happened, but
as the kid, something's wrong. My sibling's hurting or going through something or dealing with something, but you don't know what, and you don't need to at that age. It's because the thing is, when you're telling a story about kids that age, you tell their life. So you tell about how that happened, and then mom and dad were a little high strung, and so they forgot to get the toy they promised to get you, and that becomes the plot point of the movie, or the show or the story or whatever. And you weave those adult themes on the side. They're there a little bit for the adults, seeing it too, and they're there a little bit to add that richness and depth to these movies. Some of the fun, I think, of having that adult depth in these movies is actually the longevity of them. It really sets a kids movie apart from a family movie when you come back and watch it 10 years later, and you're like, oh shit, you actually get more out of it every time going on.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, you can go back and watch Disney movies. I mean, watching The Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? As a kid, I didn't pick up the sexual innuendos, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I just thought he was a bad guy. My thing was like, well, I know Esmeralda's pretty, and I was like, I just thought people liked pretty things and they wanted to keep him. So I was like, oh, he doesn't want to kill her because she's pretty and he wants her to be like his girlfriend. I didn't get that he just wanted to have her as this like weird sex slave. I didn't get that as a kid.
I always, even as a kid, I would think I was like weirdly more innocent. I was like, thought, oh, he just wants her to, dance for him and all that stuff. But yeah, no, I remember the first time I went back and watched that, like when I was old enough to get
as an adult.
And I listened to that song and I was like, ew.
Like, oh Jesus. Well, see, but that's why Frollo is such a good villain, because he's so fucking twisted.
Yeah. Council Sean, thank you for the super chat. He agrees with us. See, Snow White should be a radiance of beauty to look upon. She should make you want to start wars, lol. A true Helen of Troy, exactly.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like that girl walks. It's like the situation. Like, we're all adults now. You're not going to a ball. It's a bar. You walk into a bar. Nobody's turning their head to look at that girl when she walks in a bar. Angelina Jolie walks into a bar. Sure as hell, every man and some women are turning their heads to look at Angelina Jolie walk into a bar, right?
Exactly. You're not wrong. Patrick Avadales, thank you for the super. I'm sorry we started late last night. I saw you were in the chat, but had to go to bed. It says Anna is an elf confirmed. She's living in that tree behind her with the Keebler elves. That tracks. Yeah.
Actually, there's like a bunch of So I don't know if you know, hummingbirds are super territorial and they'll like kill other hummingbirds if they try to get their nectar.
I didn't know that.
Actually, it came by earlier. There's a little thing right over here, and a hummingbird was flying around me because he's pissed that I'm sitting here, and I'm like, "Fuck you, hummingbird." But no, that one, that male hummingbird over there with that feeder is very, very protective. So I can't even walk past that tree,
dude. That's hilarious.
I'm already dry and ready to like jump in the pool again, but I'm at 1%. So if I just disappear, that's why I don't jump over on my phone.
Sounds good. If you want to do a twofer and jump in the pool before you come back on the phone,
I'll probably go run and plug in my iPad and jump in the pool, and so you'll have like 5 minutes.
That's reasonable. I promise I won't be offended. Thank you for the super sticker. Brent's Anna plus Gates fantasy. It's just
thank you, Russell Hall.
Smiley angel face. So thanks for that, my dude. Read a couple of these because the one is ready to do again. Bluer than well, kids these days with the internet, they probably know more about the human body than you, but some things you just don't want to watch in a kid's show. This is true, although I hope 3-year-olds don't know that much about the human body. And Blue Haired Lamb Whale says, Anna, your sister sounds like a bit of a psycho. Dude, family, siblings, bro. Siblings?
No, I think the thing is with and this is why I think with SJWs or the wokies on Twitter, it's Zoomers. So there's a generational gap. So my sisters are both Zoomers. I guess I'm a millennial, and so there's that disconnect that Zoomers have, and it's like there's no line that they won't cross. Like if me and Jesse were somehow feuding, it's like there's boundaries that Jesse and I would not cross. It's like that's a line, there's a line in the sand.
Yeah.
I'm not, any secrets that she trusted me with, it's like, okay, well, that has nothing to do with our feud. But with my sisters, there's no respect for anything. And I mean, I don't really like to get too much into my family, but I did open up this can of worms. But with this, it's like they don't care. And it's like, how can they outdo it? And it's like they're doing shit that I would never do in a million years. I would never, when my sister is sleeping, take a topless picture of her and send it to everyone, right? But she had no problem doing that to me, nor did she think she did anything wrong. Come into my room that was locked, which she had a secret key made that I did not know she had, and taking photos of me while I'm sleeping and sending it to everyone.
Blue-haired Landmail wants to know, had you at least graduated when you took the pics?
You know what? I'm actually thinking back. I think I was a senior in high school when this happened, but it was a New Year's party that me and my boyfriend had gone to. Because so I was still actually I think I just turned 17.
That level of shit and sibling abuse is nothing new from what I've heard. What is new though is what you're saying is about like the not understanding the wrongdoing element. Like I had an ex who was like 13 years older than me, who once they used to play like really extreme games of hide and seek. So once in response to the fact that he had hidden in a closet and she locked him in and left him there for like hours and hours and hours, then the next time they played and she hid in the dryer, he turned it on. So like they did shit like that to each other, but they knew they were being awful to each other.
Yeah.
So like when they grew up, they were able to sort of confront it and be like, we were shitty to each other. We were terrible. Like, and they just sort of, it was sort of hashed out in the open. But you're right. There's this weird thing. I think it's especially with the younger siblings. And you're right, across a weird certain divide, because my sister kind of almost falls across that line too, where it's like they kind of look at they put their older siblings in that okay boomer category where they feel very entitled to just write off your existence,
Yeah, it's weird because my brother was always really mean to me when I was a kid, and then there was one time where he made me cry and he realized that he went too far because he had never made me cry before, and he apologized and he stopped after that. And so me and my brother have like an understanding where it's like we could, we're siblings to each other still, but the younger ones, it's like, well, obviously Ellen isn't here anymore, but I mean, you saw it firsthand, Jesse. It's like, there's a line that there's like your worst enemy wouldn't even cross this line. And my sister's like, throw that out the window. Who cares? Let's just do this.
Well, that's like the big difference in that. Like my siblings have both been pretty awful to me at points in my life, and one of like my older brother, he knows he's gone off the deep end a little bit in his own life, and he knows that he's been a shithead to me, and he has done it on purpose. When he's said to mean and hurtful things or done hurtful things to me, he did it purposely, trying to hurt me, knowing full well exactly what he was doing. My sister sometimes just treats me like I don't matter. It's like a totally different thing sometimes. It's brutal too, because it's like, wow, we grew up in the same house together. Like we shared everything. And now you just have this attitude towards me like I am worthless. Like I'm that that annoying friend that you just wish would stop calling, And it's like, God, that's gut-wrenching. But also it's Jeff and I have a theory that this is the generation that like grew up on Friends and then everything that came after. Like we had everything before and then Friends plopped like right in a formative time for a lot of people. I never watched it. But then after that.
Well, no, because Friends was before me. Because I had to watch like the rerun of Friends.
But there's some reason.
No, it's MTV. It's like the reality shows on MTV were big.
Well, hear me out.
I think that's part of it.
Because Friends starts this thing that the sitcom era that gets huge in the late 90s and then even bigger in the 2000s popularizes, which is the family you choose, right? It starts this whole concept. I think it really does become a millennial concept then. And like some of the millennials are split. Some of us have the older values. Some of us have the younger values.
Ooh, my screen's going. Something just popped up. I think it's going to die.
It's going to die.
I think so.
All right, I'm going to pause this point then because I want your take on it. And then we'll read some super chats. We'll get Anna back in a few minutes. All right, so just remember, I'm talking about the generational split and the friends problem. Anna makes a great point with that. That's the reason I wanted her back for it, because I wanted to bring in her point about MTV. But here, I'll drop her out for the by and by until she undies. What's up, babe? Oh, her battery died. It was anticipated, so we have a whole planned changeover. She's gonna plug it in, jump in the pool, grab the phone, and then be back. We're gonna read some super chats in the by and by. Or did I catch up on them already? No, I think I caught up on them already. Darn. That's fine. I think she's coming back, maybe. No. Jeffrey Nelson is not in a bikini, but Jeffrey Nelson's here. It's good to see you, man. Hello, welcome. Let's see who is here. Let's check in with the chat. Sultan Al Fahim never watched Friends. Neither did I. So you and I both. I just happen to know that Friends started the Friendsgiving concept, like that whole thing, which, you know, I've seen it done in like How I Met Your Mother, took it around with it. Anna was not going to electrocute herself. Don't worry. Holocron Library Fox says, hey, Jesse. Hey, Jeff's voice in the background. Oh, you guys have to come watch me on Live It, by the way, because I sing songs. I do music. One of the things I do is 500 Miles by the Claimers. And Jeff does join in when he is needed. At the moment when he is needed, Jeff does. So there you go. You should come to Live It where that happens. You young people are all heffed up. I'm Gen X, and I turned into a semi-functional adult that occasionally drops acid and swims in the ocean like a normal person. Bro, don't lump me in with the rest of those fuckers, Cecil. I have way more in common with Gen X than I do with the rest of my millennial kin. You really did get that. You really got millennials who, I mean, that's the ones of us who are still here fighting against the social justice crazies are the ones who embrace the older ways, who, in spite of anything else, that's the funny thing. It's like, it was always, the generational split was always along the lines of liberalism and conservatism, you know, up until the success of the neo-con movement, conservatism always had a struggle taking a foothold with the younger generation, because by default, the young people want to grow and shake and change, and your enclave of those who want to preserve the old way, you know, your rich hoity-toity people who live in protected worlds. I grew up in one of these. I grew up in an area where people don't leave, where they just come right back. See, as Cecil says, I get along with you and Anna, old souls. Exactly. You know, the people who wanted to come right back to where they grew up, those people very naturally fall into conservatism because they're taught from a young age how those systems benefit them. And so why would they want to change it? Of course, these are the people who want to preserve it. But as the wealthy elite is a small percentage of the population, and these being the people that are having children late in life and fewer of them to begin with, are not exactly propagating and promulgating this mindset in the younger generation. So typically, classically, through multiple generations, what you had always was your ideological split worked along generational lines, and that's sort of healthy, you know, because you have a certain healthy conservatism and traditionalism preserved in the working class and the ruling working class, as it were, the bosses, the managers, the CEOs, etc. But as they slowly get older and retire, they are training the younger crop who came in with all their fancy ideals, and over time, they are instilling their traditional values into the young, yuppie, fancy, idealistic ones, and then it blends. You know, the young ones take over, and they they bring a little bit of their idealism, but they've also learned the value of some of the traditional ways, and that's why change happens incrementally and slowly. It's like evolution, right? Different traits evolve. Not every evolution is advantageous on a survival sense, but only the ones that are survive in the species. So you have the other ones are just called mutations. If they don't have an evolutionary advantage, they just ultimately don't persist. So it's the same, the same thing sort of with the way change occurs socially in society, right? We try a whole bunch of new shit with every generation. We only keep the stuff that works and the stuff that makes sense. So what changed? What changed with the millennial generation? I mean, two things. Obviously, part of what defines the millennial generation is it's supposed to be. I mean, they try to say, "Oh, you grew up with the internet." Like, if you grew up, your formative years included the internet. And so, us older millennials who have memories before the internet, a lot of us have, and some of it depends also on the household you grew up in. Because at my age, there were options. At my age, in my social demographic, I could have been one of the first kids to have an iPhone. They were out, when I was as young as 9th grade. But I didn't have my first I didn't get my first cell phone until 2 years later. And I didn't get my first smartphone until like 4 years after that, or 5 years after that. I don't know. So I don't, have those years were not heavily influenced by that access to technology. And so I think that's a lot of why I've stayed the way I've stayed, and why I've maintained the values that I maintained. But for so many people, you bypassed having information at your fingertips, bypassed the need, or bypass people's perception of needing anything, information, etc. Oh, Cecil says the dog on it only says, boarding my plane to New York. Have a good night, ladies. Cecil, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the super chats. Have a very, very safe flight, and be well. Sweet dreams back in New York, or have a good, crazy night if you're just going to hit the ground running upon your return. But be safe out there, Cecil. And Jeff and I are looking forward to rendezvousing with you when we're over on the East Coast. So, all right, where was I pontificating over here? Good luck, Cecil. Hashtag too fat to fly. Harsh, blue-haired land whale. Harsh but fair. Thank you, blue-haired land whale. So, if you're just joining us, guys, we're Anna is just on a brief hiatus to jump in the pool and cool off while her iPad died, so she'll be turning to us shortly. But where was I? Oh yeah, so the technology makes us feel like we don't need that older generation for anything, because all that information is right here at my fingertips. So why would I consult anybody when I can just find out myself? And it doesn't help then that the older generation is staying in the workforce way beyond their expiration date, thus on both angles creating that mutual disdain and pressure in which the older generation feels like they cannot leave the workforce in the hands of the younger, idiotic generation who learned nothing from them whatsoever because they thought they could learn every fucking thing they wanted to know from Google, Wikipedia, or God forbid, Reddit. As we know, all the most reliable news and sources for all of your factual-based information comes from Reddit. So, that I think is where you get that, why you have...
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Hear me?
Welcome back. Yes, we can hear you, but
Yeah.
you're frozen.
Yeah, my iPad died, so I'm on my phone, but I might not be able to stay very long because everyone's out here wanting to go to the pool.
That's reasonable. Well, I paused my earlier point about the because I wanted to hear what you had to say about the MTV stuff, because I think that's very related too. What I was going to say though is, Friends starts the Friendsgiving, and then you have All the other sitcoms pick up on this thread of the family you choose, right? Where they start teaching you that it's okay not to go home for the holidays. Like every holiday movie before this is about making it home for the holidays. And then
Oh, that's
sitcoms
a
in the
good
late
point.
90s and early 2000s all of a sudden start teaching you don't bother going home for the holidays. It's expensive and you hate your family. They don't
Jesse.
get you. They don't love you. They don't appreciate you. Yeah.
Are you on a thing?
Yeah, it's Wednesday, so it's our show. But yeah.
So they don't love you. They know you're good. It's easy. They don't love you. They don't appreciate you, so don't go see them. Just stay with your friends instead. You'll have a way better time. Oh, and everyone, oh my God, you didn't make it home. You had a better time with your friends anyway. You had a better Friendsgiving than you would have had with your stupid drunk uncle. It's it's the lessons we were taught, from those shows. And so some of the younger generation who then rejected their parents because they were raised on their iPhones, were taught that it was totally fine, that family doesn't mean anything. That nobody anymore was bothering to sit them down for family dinners or go on family outings or do any of that stuff. They're busy living their own lives and letting their kids be raised on the internet. And so what the fuck do you need family for anymore? What the fuck does it mean?
That's a super, super good point, because I was actually just talking to Peaches the other night, and I was like, it's totally convenient, or, it's really nice now being our own family, and it's like night and day, but you're 100% right.
Yeah.
I never really, it's one of those things that you know, but you don't realize it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's such a weird shift. But I think you're right too. MTV is the other part of that, right? It
Well, it's all
teaches
fake
you
and shallow, and it teaches you
exactly.
to be an asshole to people.
It teaches you what to value. It teaches you to value things, to value being cool, and that being the coolest kid means being the biggest douchebag. Exactly. And so now we're just living a generation that's full of self-entitled people who think that being awesome means treating everyone around you like shit, and that the second anyone tries to tell you what to do, they're just cramping your style and messing with your vibe. So,
yep, 100%.
Hooray for the world. Well, in case we do have to let you go anytime soon, what is new? Anything new? I know you did have a whole big video in the past week. What is new in the hashtag Free Henry Cavill world?
Oh my God, so much. So freaking much. I would honestly just recommend watching the video.
So yeah, it's great. I started watching part of it. As always, Anna has the full, in-depth, and well-presented scoop on Henry Cavill. I do love your deep dive analysis videos because they're all encompassing, they're engaging, they're well.
She's right over there. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
You're like, where's the dog?
But yeah. So the plot thickens. Henry Cavill is now on blast because of his girlfriend apparently being in blackface and stuff, which she is now lying about the nature of these photos, and it's a whole thing. But Anna and I were discussing about some of the reasons perhaps why Henry's caught in this web, and it sucks. It just sucks because you get someone telling you, "Oh, I can give you Superman," and if they have the connection you need, if they have the in that you're looking for, once you start on that path, it's like it becomes that cognitive dissonance thing. It's that investment thing. It's the way they scam you at carnivals, right? Once they get you to double or nothing, then they've got you hooked in their little game, right? Because it got you in the mindset of it's better to keep going, so possibly win it all back than end up losing how much you've put on the line. So you've got Henry now deep in this little girlfriend scam, and he's doing it all to get back in the super suit. And it's like at this point he's got to be asking himself if he blows it all up now, if he gets out and tanks this whole opportunity, what did he do it all for in the first place? So
yeah. I would just recommend everyone just going and actually watching the video I did. I know some people were like, Anna, you're a stalker. I'm like, you do realize, and I say multiple times in that video, and I'm like, all this information that I'm showing is public. Also, I didn't collect any of it. I was contacted by somebody that did all the research and sent it to me because they said, hey, you're the Henry's fan with the biggest platform. Can you share all of this? And so yeah, I shared everything the way that it was presented to me, and with everything that actually happened and all the facts behind it. I've never scripted a video before, but for that one, I wanted to be as clear and concise as possible. So I didn't really script it. I just wrote out bullet points. And because the person also let me know, they're like, hey, like, don't say certain words, don't say certain people's names because they'll come after you. And so my video was actually in review. And yeah, I think it's weird though, because like this is actually a pretty big thing, and I was the only one that covered it. And people are like, oh, you're just doing it because you're obsessed with Henry Cavill. I'm like, no, I'm a fan. Yes, I think he's handsome, but I mean, still, it's if you actually go and look at all the evidence that's there, it's kind of just like the thing that happened today. What was it? Oh no, thank you. It's kind of like the thing that happened today with the guy that what was it, quote unquote, committed suicide, even though he said like a year ago, he's like, yo, I have no suicidal tendencies, I have no plans on committing suicide. And he's like, the US government let me know that I'm on their list. And he even got a tattoo saying whacked, and he mysteriously got Jeffrey Epstein. And so I'm like, all of the evidence is there if you actually go and look at it. So I would just recommend watching that video.
Wow.
I feel like people that actually took the time to watch it and see everything that I presented were like, oh shit, like that's some intense investigating. And other people are like, ooh, you're a stalker. And I'm like, so doing investigative journalism is stalking now? Cool.
Yep. Apparently it is. I think you're getting a great scoop, and I do recommend everyone go check that video out. Blue Haired Lamb, do you think this is fair, having seen him recently? Do you think it's fair to call Cecil too fat to fly?
Well, no, because I mean, you're not too fat to fly because you can always get multiple seats.
There you go. As long as Cecil just needs the right sugar mamas to fuel his lifestyle, and then he can fly wherever he wants. Whatchamacallit? Speaking of also, Blue Haired Lamb also sends us. Oh, Basil Patrick McNeil says someone said Cecil's 60. Cecil is not 60. That is false. Whoever's telling you Cecil
he's much older.
Whale, he's like 93. So, Blue Haired Lamb says, speaking of family, is the world truly ready for another little Shane Davis running around? Oh, that's not up to the
that's
world.
true. Shane is pregnant. They're gonna have a little girl.
So
congratulations, Shane.
Congrats to Shane. But that's not up to us. That's up to them. And I'm sure the world survived worse. So that's really exciting though. More fandom, more little comics children. We got a little super pair from Deanna. Let me see if I can see what it actually is down here, if this will actually load enough. My computer, I think, is on its it's in its twilight years. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Right.
But I think I am going to have to go, though. But I was able to get through an hour and 22 minutes, so that was good. I was like, oh, my God, I'm only going to be able to be here for like half an hour.
Well, that was great. Thank you for the super sticker to Anna. He sends us a fist bump pair. So, Anna, yeah, any last things you want to say before you get out of here? And for the rest of you guys, we'll go through a little bit of Loki. Maybe I'll bring Jeff out here and we'll talk Loki.
There you go. Make Jeff wear a girl wig, though.
I will have to see what I can make him wear. I'll have to put a head wrap on him or something because I don't think I think my social justice wig is buried somewhere.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, I will be back from vacation on Monday. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave paradise and come back to reality, which I mean has its pros and its cons. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Smash the like button, and I will see you all later. And bye, Jesse. It was fun.
It was good to see you, Anna. Take care. Have a great rest of your trip too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bad. Hey Jeff. Hey Jeff. See if you can hear me. Hey Jeff. Let me text him. He probably has his headphones in. Let's see. Hi. Okay. Hi. Do you want to come talk about Loki with me? Anna had to go. But you have to wear a girly hat or something. Okay. Jeff's been invited to the Matriarchy. Are there any women in the chat that I could just randomly bring in here too? Who cares? The council of shots. I miss SGW Jessie. She was hot. Well, maybe she'll come back. I don't know. She'll come back to the regular channel because I don't care. I was gonna have bring on the big meat. Brent's Buffalo Jeff fantasy. Oh, I did see someone asking about Buffalo Jeff earlier, and he doesn't, usually come into these streams. However, you can always ask for Buffalo Jesse if you want. So there's a Buffalo Jesse. If she's around, I mean, realistically, I'll just wrap up on. I'll just finish up talking about Loki, and then I'll just leave because then I can get more things done tonight. Huzzah! Jeff and I are going to town tomorrow. It's a lot to do. Anywho, Jeff didn't respond to my invitation. So, you guys watching Loki? Anyone watching Loki out there? Blue-haired land whale says the chat demands lipstick. Jeff, I'm pretty sure it would take a lot of money to get Jeff to come out here in lipstick. But if you want to start a fund, I don't know. We can find out what it would take. Anyone watching Loki? We watching Loki? No. Yes, Donnie Pearson is. Donnie Pearson. All right. So Alejandro Cervantes, did you just watch the first episode or have you watched all of them now? Because here's the thing. I don't like the Marvel formula that thinks it can get away with an episode's worth of fucking exposition before it bothers to do anything right. I don't blame anyone who jumped. You really thought all three were boring? Okay, I'm a little surprised. I don't like. I don't blame anyone who jumped ship feeling like, oh, well, we know that they're building to this female Loki. But I don't, and now that I've seen this, annoying, overly officious, bitchy female character in episode 1, I can't wait to see what they're doing there. Well, they're actually, I like the way they're handling it so far. God, it's so weird though, because there was no Owen Wilson in this episode, and I'm a little sad because he was great. Fuck. This show's got me so far. This show has got me so far. The first episode took till the very, very end to fully have me on board. I liked what I saw between Owen Wilson and Loki and Tom Hiddleston, in it. And it wasn't until the end where I was like, okay, now I'm here for the journey that you've set up. You spent way too much time setting it up, and now you want to pay it off. Okay. So, okay, Jaden Whedon's watched it too. Yes, I watched it, and so far I'm enjoying it. Yeah, so when Mary was on last week, we touched on it briefly, how some of our massive amounts of disappointment with the first episode and some of the ridiculously clunky writing with the way that they tried to put it, the way they tried to present things. And if you want me to start simping for Tom Hiddleston, I got no problem. I'm not like Anna, right? I don't go batshit super gaga, melt my uterus crazy for one guy. That's a lot. I get pretty aggressively graphic about a lot of different men, and Tom Hiddleston's one of them. Hiddleston, Sean Ashmore, Nathan Fillion, Jensen Ackles, David Tennant, Tom Cruise even. Yeah, he does it for me. Not gonna lie. All right, so where were we? Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., most of the Chris's on some level. Yeah, Pine, Hemsworth, Pratt. Pratt, I think, is cute more than sexy. Pine sometimes too, although for me, Chris attractive meter. Probably Pratt, Pine, Evans, Hemsworth. Shadow Warchild, it's a whole thing about Mission Impossible 2 in the age when I saw it and what it did to my childhood. Anyway, but yeah, unabashedly, yeah, why not? Not Gates McFadden, blue-haired land whale. Sorry. Where was I in this? So Loki. Where the first episode is this long, boring, drawn-out bit of exposition at the TVA, the TV Video Awards. I don't know. That's what I just keep thinking when I see that for some reason. That's on my mind. Every time I see a 3-syllable, I'm like, let me just make up what this acronym is. I don't know. It's not Time Variance Authority. It's something. What you looking for? Oh. So, oh my God, Jaden Whedon. Clearly, we're on the same page. Tom just needs to whip his hair back, and I'm already sold. The little. Oh God, it's all right. How do you feel about the lengths? Right. Let's start with the lengths. Right, because the Loki hair lengths. You've got small. You have like it starts out like kind of short in the first Thor movie, and I thought that I liked Avengers as like the peak, like the first Avengers movie is peak Loki length when it's like, oh God, flowing and beautiful and all that stuff. And but I'm really loving what it's doing in this show. Anyway, 69 people watching, dude. All right. Lower. Okay. Why am I words? Okay. I don't know where the word lower just came into that. Anything. My brain just stopped. My brain just quit on me. Anyway, hierarchy of Chris's sexiness. That's not where we were. I'm distracting myself further and further. We're getting further. Loki sexiness. Yes, Tom Hiddleston. So the whole second episode is this great fun romp of Loki and Agent Mobius romping through time after this chick Loki. Fun pacing, smart writing, very clever, very smart, kind of sounding show. So it's starting to me in the second episode, starting to pick up a bit of a Doctor Who kind of vibe. I finished the episode. I'm like, I would watch Doctor Who with Tom Hiddleston as the Doctor and Owen Wilson as his companion. And so I'm a little concerned though, because this episode does end. We're in full spoilers mode right now. This episode does end with him following chick Loki through a variance gate, who we learned in this episode calls herself Sylvie. And I'm nervous. I'm like, what the fuck is all this? They justified it really well, right? You have multiple different timelines. These Lokis come from anywhere. Loki is an adopted shapeshifter. So she just ended up on a very different trajectory than any of the ones that ended up Loki of Asgard. Which the explanation works, but then also like there's they're playing with this like narcissistic attraction that I like a lot. The dynamic is very Padme and Anakin in like Attack of the Clones. So better than a lot of the adorably antagonistic male-female relationships they try to put on screen today. Here's why I like it. They take the traditionally, this is the formula that actually they got really right with Han Solo and Princess Leia, right? And then they did it again with Padme and Anakin, and they do, I think, really well with certain. When you sell a female character well, right? The duality of a strong female character with a strong male character without making either of them weak, right? You make the positive qualities of the female characters and the male characters be very traditionally female and male traits. So the woman has very classically, some of her positive traits are classically female ones. Some of his positive traits are classically male ones. But more importantly, you make their annoying traits or their flaws endemic to the other gender. right? So female Loki's annoying quality is that she wants to smash all of her problems. Her annoying quality is not that she's shrill or she's a know-it-all or she thinks women are better than men or hates men or is like super overly officious or uppity or any of these things that we would associate with a bitch. Her annoyingness is that she just wants to smash everything. She's one-track mind, simple Hulk smash kind of mentality. Loki's annoying trait is that he is, wants to always be talking and make it about himself and this and that. The yapping and self-aggrandizing that we usually associate with like Karen-y characters and stuff like that. But we're also preconditioned to accept it with Loki because this is the way his character's been from the beginning. And outside of a couple of clunky moments in both of the previous episodes, this show is doing more things right than it is wrong. And that's what I think. That's what I think. Any thoughts? Any thoughts from you guys? Otherwise, I think that's just going to be the nice little bow in this really fun day. And we're just going to call it. We're going to say, yep, solid, good matriarchy, good chat, good discussion, nice, tight 95-minute stream. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm here. You guys are here. If you guys all go away and decide you're not here for this, you don't want to hang out anymore, that's cool. But until such a time, I'm going to play my guitar a little bit if you guys want to hang out. Jeff, over that. Look at it. Yeah, I don't think Jeff saw my invitation. So it's whatever. But this is what I do on Live It, guys. Don't care. Don't be here for it. If you're like, yes, he's not going to yell and scream at me anymore. Go. It's fine. It's cool. But if you're curious, if you're like, what does Jesse do on Live It? I don't know. See if you like it. See if you think I'm good at something. I might be. I might not be. Yours to decide. My goal is to get myself copy struck by playing too good of a cover. Fuck you, blue-haired land whale. I will not be playing Freebird, but I will leave this up here as a cautionary warning to anybody else who requests it. Yes, Alejandro Cervantes, practice makes wrong. I will do no practicing. I will only play. I'm actually going to take this down in case you want to see my hands. This is actually something I wrote a while ago called Journey. Glad you're enjoying your shrimp, Patrick McNeil. Now I kind of want some. So that's a song I wrote called Journey. I saw, let's say, Blue Red Whale says Stairway. No Stairway to Heaven, Stairway Denied. You know what that's from, right? Stairway is an electric guitar song. Also, I actually haven't gotten around to learning it. I do have the sheet music. Fun fact, I used to play on the piano. Have the sheet music, have the electric somewhere. The amp is somewhere else. Haven't even pulled it out yet at the new place. And I will admit to you, I am much more of a musician than a guitarist. So I can do some fun stuff, like, you know. I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams come flash before my eyes of curiosity. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Same old song. Just a drop of water in an endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust. All we are is dust in the wind. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do the finishing one or not, so I went halfway in between. My voice just broke on it. It was fun. All right, let's play something you guys will recognize, though. Older or newer? What do you guys want? Older or newer? Tell me. I had two picked out. Older. You want older or newer? It's up to you. Press the like button if you want. Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, yeah. Obviously, a lot of people are gonna recognize that one too. But I would play other recognizable ones also. And I had to go, so I'm just gonna play some music for a while until I feel like probably another 15 minutes.
She's gone?
Yeah.
Did she ever come back?
Oh, she did. Yeah, she was back for a while. Yeah, she was back for a while, but then her family kind of came back, and they're like, "Oh, they all want to come out and use the pool." So, what can you do?
Did you talk about Loki?
A little bit. I kind of covered my feelings on it. If you'd like to share any of yours, by all means. But if not, feel free to not worry about it. I mean, if you want to do it, you're starting. Please, by all means,
I was
continue.
just saying, surprisingly consistent from last week.
I thought so. I thought it held.
This is one of those shows, like, if people are looking for shit to bitch about, there's stuff from the first episode.
Yeah.
But it, cleans itself up nicely.
It does.
So if you're going by what you heard of a review from the first episode, I shit on the first episode.
Yeah.
I don't think it's It's like, oh, it was terrible. Yeah, it was. And then I watched
It
the
was.
second one because I give every show 3 tries,
Absolutely.
and it's better.
It's been
So-
consistent. So I agree a lot with Andy. When Andy Signor was on here the other week, we were talking about it. His feelings were this was the make or break episode. Was the first episode. He didn't have as many of the pacing problems and the writing problems, but he did agree it wasn't as strong as the second one, which he liked a lot better, and then really felt the show hinged on this one. I concur definitely with the way they were going, and I think they did it. I think this was yes.
Admittedly, I thought this was like I wanted the TV to look.
Huh?
I wanted the TV to be like to watch
I
all the
wanted-
instructions, to watch the things working. Like,
I know, right? Oh yeah, whatever
that never
happened?
That just didn't happen. Her plan.
Wait a second. Yeah, what? We missed a plot. We didn't follow that plot thread, did we?
Nope.
They finished. I was trying to remember what the exciting cliffhanger was from last week. It wasn't just them following through. It was all those little doodads plopping into the different.
With bombs.
Oh yeah, no, we just have. Oh no, you know what it's going to be next week. They pulled one of these with WandaVision, where they did the first. The way they with WandaVision, where they showed you the first 3, and they showed you the one episode from the other perspective. Next week, we're going to see the fallout on the TVA side because we didn't see a hide nor hair of Owen Wilson
What we saw.
before.
Dude about the Raw and the soldiers.
Midnight's Oblivion is like, what is this? The fuck is this channel? He's like, he's probably just wandered in here being like, oh, some chicks playing music, cool. And now we're talking about Loki. And he's like, what the fuck? I do listen on Live It, play music on Live It, but actually YouTube reviews, I'm Jesse Mileson, the Gunner person of Mindless Entertainment, if you don't know me already. But you're usually going to hear me on the tube reviews more talking about Loki, and usually over on there talking about on Live It playing the music. But yeah, what were you going to say about singing? Yeah, the next
You
episode.
saw her,
Yeah,
the judge, and everybody. So I think they're just going to ignore it because why would she? We saw her at the end of the episode, right?
I'm trying to remember that. Why am I blanking at the very end of the episode?
We saw Gugu and Bob the Raw and 2 guards. They show up.
There?
We saw like
Wait, we did?
yeah, they appear somewhere else. So like they're not
They did?
dead. Yeah,
Where?
I know they popped up.
I thought we
for
only
short.
saw them in flashbacks in this episode.
We saw her run out in this last episode, and then this episode we saw her and the other guy.
Oh, when they went back into the when they were in the TVA briefly.
Yeah.
Oh, that part. Sorry.
So
I think
we've seen her like be okay.
at the end of the episode. That was like okay.
No. Like we saw if all
Yeah,
shit
no, they're
was
okay. But
supposed
the thing is, they didn't blow up. They didn't blow up the TVA. Remember, she
That's
created
what-
a million new timelines. We just haven't watched the TVA deal with that fallout with the million new timelines.
yeah, because nothing. This is like all right.
No, I think
awesome.
we're gonna see that all next week though.
That's cool
Because she didn't drop all those in the TVA. She dropped all those in different places and created a bunch more timelines than they could possibly have locked down all at once. So, yes. Anyway. Shadow War Child says Jesse playing guitar versus NHL decision time. I mean,
Depends on who's playing. Hartford, Boyle.
Holden Girl asked for the Beatles though, so that's an easy one for me. Evelyn says you just haven't watched on acid yet. That's your problem. Cecil might have. He was here earlier, super chatting about how he's a regular old person who just sometimes drops acid and hangs out on beaches. Does that sound like things Cecil does, Jeff?
No, it's not trying to make people sound good.
I know, right? All right, Holden Girl, you still around? Because I got a Beatles for you. He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. The best timeline. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Nowhere man, the world is at your command. He's as blind as he can be, just sees what he wants to see. Nowhere man, can you see me at all? Nowhere man, don't worry, till somebody else lends you a hand. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere, man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Nowhere, man, the world is at your command. He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Well, Mary loves WWE Mayhem. I don't know. Do what you want. You should start claiming he's my source for music. Hi, the Physics Channel with Kenny Lee. Unfortunately, just lady, just down to me. Probably gonna play a little more guitar for you guys and then go because Anna had to bounce, and so I'm just here playing you some songs. I have been on 2 separate occasions, Patrick McNeil. He stole 2 videos of mine and used them as claiming that his sources told him those things. But that happened. Anyway. Want to hear a song I wrote? If you want to, I'll do it. And you want to hear Mountainside or Fortress? If you do, I mean, you can hear more because there's other ones, but those are like the 2 better ones and the most recently written ones, which is part of why they're better. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Holy Girl. I gotta go back and do. I love the Beatles, so if there's any specific ones you want to do, check out Live It, by the way, if you can ever get over that. Let me post the link. If you guys like Jesse hanging out playing music, check me out on Live It. This is what I'm doing over there all of the time. Actually, usually 5 days a week. And I take requests. I learn stuff. If you draw me any Beatles requests, I will pretty much pull it up and do it. You Gotta Hide Your Love Away is the first song I ever learned how to play on the guitar, and I still love that one. I've done it in my life. I've done Dear Prudence. Oh, there's also... While My Guitar Gently Weeps. That was a little bit of that. No, you don't want to hear my songs. Cool. That's fine. We don't have to. But if you do, I have a song called Fortress and a song called Mountainside. So if somebody in the chat says one of those words, I'll play that song. If not, I'll just leave. I don't care. He can't stay. He has to fix an old Volvo. I guess so. All right, you got it, Zens. All right. This is a song I wrote called Fortress. There's going to be a part. This is the intended on electric, but I can only play one guitar at a time. So there's going to be a part where there's a guitar solo, and I'm just going to use my mouth for. So it's a song called Fortress that I wrote. Waking up at 11 is such a chore. Don't know if I can do it for very much more. The moonlight and the stars make much better friends. Daylight is just a means to an end. I ain't gotta die. I ain't got the time to listen to people tell me how I should think. Maybe it's a sign to lock all my windows and close all my doors and wait for my silence to start. There's only one noise allowed in my fortress. It's the sound of your beating heart. The world outside is broken and I want no part. Still call people human if they lost their heart. Everywhere you turn, someone's stoking fear. When my four walls go up, they can't touch me here. People lose their minds whenever I tell them I don't care what they think. So I know that it's time to lock all my windows and close all my doors and wait for the silence to start. There's only one noise allowed in my fortress. It's the sound of your beating heart. That's how the solo goes. Didn't make a rule disallowing boys. Come inside if you leave behind the noise. This might be the last place where the grass is still green. Greener only when there's a you to my me. I ain't gotta try to tell other people how I think they should think. I just need you and I to lock all the windows and close all the doors and wait for the silence to start. There's only one noise allowed in this fortress. It's the sound of our beating heart. So that's called Fortress. I wrote that song last summer. I should write a new one. So, yeah. No, thanks, Patrick McNeil. I don't know. I feel like all songs are secretly love songs, except for the ones that aren't. I mean, let me know, guys. Do you want me to stick around and play more music? I can for a little bit, but if not, I'll leave. But if you want, I mean, you're not going anywhere, so. Show you what that one was that I was doing, I guess. I can play but can't sing at the same time, so it doesn't really matter. Of course it matters. You don't have to do, like, it's not a requirement, one or the other. Like, that's, I don't know. The version made popular by Shrek. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. 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 Oh, baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. Oh, she. Fuck. Why would I forget the words of the song? Baby. No, I messed it up. That's because I skipped a verse. That's why. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throne, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. 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 Baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew ya. Well, I've seen your flag on the marble arch, but love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 There was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do ya? There was a time I moved in you, and the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah. 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 Maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. Well, it's not a cry you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Hard films, everybody learns how to do this the first time. Everything the first time they learn power chords. That, and then I'm not really just either, but it is a good song. And then of course there's always, Shadow War Child, I don't know that one, but I do have a Bowie one. I gotta pull up my let me see real quick. I have a whole thing. Like I said, I'm on Live It. Let me post this to you. If you guys like this, if you're down, if you're into it, you're like, yeah, Jesse playing music is fun. I'm on Live It doing this like 5 days a week for hours, sometimes hours at a time. It's yeah, like there's my Live It. So if you're into this, if you dig it, I'm there all the time. But here, if you want Bowie, I played a little bit of this for Anna. But anyway. Jamming good with Weird and Gilly. This weird chord. And the spiders from Mars. He played it left hand, but made it too far. Became a special man. Then we were Ziggy's band. Ziggy really sang, screwed up eyes and screwed down hairdo. He can lick 'em by smiling, he can leave 'em to hang. Came on so loaded, man. Well hung the Snow White man. So where were the spiders? Ah, thanks, Has Your Night Terror. While the fly tried to break our bones, just a beer light to guide us. So we bitched about his fans, and should we crush his sweet hands? Oh yeah. Ziggy played for time, jiving us that we were voodoo. The kid was just crass. He was the nice, not given ass. He took it all too far. Boy, could he play guitar. Making love with his ego. Ziggy sucked up into his mind like a leper messiah. When the kids had killed a man, I had to break up the band. Oh yeah. Ziggy played guitar. There it goes. Alrighty. As Your Night Terror. Don't worry, Jesse. I found the snack button. Thank you so much. So that's what you can expect over on Live It. The snacks. It's a free way to help out your streamers. It's cool. Any hoozle. So there you go. There's a little bit of taste of what you get over there on Live It. So if you are into that, you should go do that. Heard someone ask me about Mad Libs. Typically, that is usually a Tuesday night venture. So we're not gonna do it today. But that's it. If you liked what you heard, Live It's the place to be to hear more of that. If you don't, well, then just hang out over here where I'm usually yelling and screaming about other shit instead, like what you heard all of earlier today. Make sure you sub everywhere. I don't know Baby Blue Heart films, but I think I should learn it because I think someone else has requested that before. So I have been scrolling, by the way. I've been keeping tabs on the songs that you guys have been asking about. And the ones that I know, I might go look into adding to the repertoire. So if you're into it, go over to Live It. Please ask, request, all that shit. It's good. Love you guys. You're amazing. The best. I have been accused of having the best fans on the internet, and I think that that is accurate. So thanks, guys, for joining us for another fantabulous Matriarchy. And until next time, God Emperor.